A 10-year-old black male student, a child, was chokehold, was arrested, was dragged, all right, by the police. Can you believe that? ACLU of Louisiana is their Louisiana Justice Lab, and the Civil Rights Organization and Federal Practice Clinic are suing the Jefferson Parish School Board and Sheriff's Office after police placed a 10-year-old black student with disabilities in a chokehold, dragged him and arrested him for having an outburst at the school. Let's put up a picture of the school board. This is your Jefferson Parish School Board, all right? Let's put up a picture of the school board president. They call him Clay, okay? And while we could not find a confirmed photo of the principal for the elementary school where this happened, her name is Karen Doyle. That's her name. Jefferson Parish Sheriff Joseph LaPinto, let's put up his picture. The officer who performed the dangerous chokehold and arrest, that officer's name is Stephen Trapani. No confirmed picture as of yet. Spokesman for the school board and sheriff's office declined comment on the pending litigation. This was at an elementary school. This was a 10-year-old child with known disabilities. This child was physically assaulted, was arrested for an outburst in the classroom. The lawsuit announced Wednesday says JH, that's what we're calling him for the sake of the show, and this lawsuit refers to him as JH. The disabilities include attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and mood disorder. It says JH regularly ate lunch in administrative offices to limit his contact with other students. On May 13, 2021, JH was eating lunch after being bullied in his previous class. He was upset about being bullied because of his disabilities. So he threw a box of tissues, struck the school's principal from behind, and ran into the hallway where he later threw a trash can through a window. School administrators called the police instead of helping JH through a de-escalation measure, such as allowing JH to calm down and speak to a counselor or allowing time for the child's parents to arrive and help. They called the police on a 10-year-old kid who's only expressing his disability, his known documented disability. Although the dispatcher advised the 4 responding officers that the student was on medication, the officers took no heed. When the officers arrived, JH was walking, crying, emotional, non-communicative. Instead of trying to speak to JH about why he was upset, Officer Stephen Trapani immediately attempted to handcuff a 10-year-old child. Pulled his arm away and began walking again, is what JH did. The cop then grabbed JH's neck and held him down in a chokehold as he dragged him toward the school. Officers interrogated JH in handcuffs, 10-year-old black child with disabilities in handcuffs now for over an hour without allowing his parents inside. Following the interrogation at the elementary school, officers then took JH to the Jefferson Parish Juvenile Assessment Center, where he was detained for 4 hours and not allowed to see his parents there either. The federal court suit was filed in New Orleans on Monday on behalf of the child's parents. It seeks unspecified damages for the incident at Janet Elementary School and a declaration that the defendant's inadequate and harmful response to individuals with disabilities violates the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act. The cops came in and treated this 10-year-old baby worse than an adult. I mean, at least try to have a conversation. This is not acceptable. Now, at this point, obviously, we will follow this story. We hope there's a remedy in the court, as well as true punishment for the officer involved. We're looking for an investigation into the actions of this officer. We believe it was child abuse what happened to this kid, what this officer did was criminal. Yasmin, thoughts on this?
It's really distressing though, whenever police officers are put in these situations, whether or not they should be, whether or not there should have been somebody else who is more equipped to deal with a 10-year-old who has a mental disability. But the thing is, it's like they almost forget, regardless of who they're dealing with, that there are different types of people in this world and they have different needs and different concerns, and they're going to react in certain ways that are different from how you might want them to, right? And what we keep seeing, and somebody actually mentioned it, one of the commenters said something about one of the earlier stories, it was the lady who was being tased over the bus fare. She's just asking questions, but these cops can't even talk to them as if they're actual people, right? They have all this jargon, they have all these protocols that they have to enact. And if you don't know what their protocol is, then you're screwed. Maybe you're tased, maybe worse. Maybe you're put in a chokehold when you're 10 years old. And then on top of that, they told this kid who was already being bullied that he couldn't see his parents for hours. That's terrifying. If I was 10 and you told me I couldn't see my parents, that would be a huge problem, not just for me, but you'd have to deal with my parents, and that's not fun for anybody.
Well
it's really sad. It's really sad.